Novinha quer putaria, então vai abrir o cozinho. No baile do Cesarão, eu vou te jogar leitinho.
They came in the fog part 1. The first night fog rolled in thick and fast, swallowing the streets of Dernis Hollow by sundown. It came without warning, a creeping tide of white that blurred the world beyond, the usual hum of the town, distant car engines, late-night chatter. The soft glow of streetlights faded. Everything fell silent, as if the town was holding its breath. The locals had never seen anything like it before. Ethan Carter shoved open the door to the old shipping office, the rusted hinges creaking as he stepped inside, weapon raised. Behind him, Rachel Lane followed, her breath shallow, eyes scanning the room for any signs of movement. Her axe felt heavy in her hand, but there was no time to rest. The weight of the situation pressed down on them both. "They're not following," Rachel said, glancing over her shoulder. "At least not yet." Ethan didn't relax. He kept his eyes trained on the shadows, his shotgun steady. "Check the windows." Rachel moved, peering through the gaps in the boarded-up windows. The fog had thickened outside, swallowing the streets, muting the town to nothing more than faint shapes and silhouettes. The world outside felt unnatural, as if time had stopped and the fog itself had become something alive. Rachel couldn't shake the sense that something was watching them. "Can't see anything," she said, her voice low. Ethan lowered the shotgun, but his tension didn't ease. "We've got maybe 10 minutes before they come back. Then let's make it count," Rachel said, reaching for her pack. It wasn't much, but it had to be enough. Ethan scanned the room, every corner, every shadow. "Do we even know if anyone else is left?" His voice was tired, but urgent. Rachel didn't answer. She didn't have to. She could feel it too. The emptiness, the horror of knowing there were no more safe places, no more shelters, just moments between survival and the inevitable. A shrill screech broke the silence. Ethan's body stiffened, his hand instinctively reaching for his weapon. Rachel's grip tightened on the axe, her eyes narrowing. The sound had come from outside. Too familiar. She had heard it before, but it didn't make it any less terrifying. "Get ready," she whispered. They moved quickly, darting through the building and out the back door, into the alleyway. The world outside had become a maze of thick mist, each step muffled by the fog. Ethan's heart raced, his breath coming in shallow bursts as they moved through the dark, the weight of the silence pressing in and on them. The fog distorted everything. Shapes shifted in the mist, appearing and disappearing with every step. Ahead, a figure dashed across the alley, moving too fast, too erratically. It was a blur in the mist. "Move!" Ethan shouted, pulling Rachel to the side just in time. The figure slammed into a dumpster with a heavy crash, the sound echoing through the fog. Rachel didn't hesitate. She swung the axe, striking at the creature that had appeared out of nowhere. It fell back, its body shuddering before it vanished into the mist as quickly as it had appeared. "Don't stop, they'll be back," Ethan said, pulling Rachel forward. Without a word, they kept running, their footsteps echoing in the silence as they navigated the narrow alleys. The fog clung to them like a heavy, wet blanket, obscuring their vision, making it difficult to see more than a few feet ahead. Rachel's mind raced, her every sense heightened. She knew they had to get to the broadcast tower, but the path was treacherous, and the clock was ticking. The climb to the tower was steep, the rocks slippery beneath their feet. The fog had thinned as they ascended, but the danger wasn't over. If anything, it felt worse up here. Rachel could sense something just beyond the edge of her vision, something watching. Suddenly, a figure dropped from above, landing with a soft thud. It didn't pause, didn't hesitate. It lunged toward them with unnatural speed. Rachel acted without thinking, diving to tackle it out of the way. They tumbled down the incline, crashing into the rocky ground. She scrambled to get up, but the creature was already moving again, too fast. Ethan fired a shot, and the creature fell back, disappearing into the mist. The silence returned, but it wasn't reassuring. It was worse. "Move now," Ethan shouted, his voice urgent. They reached the base of the broadcast tower, gasping for breath. The iron gate creaked as they pushed it open, entering the small control room. Inside, everything was still too still. Dust covered the equipment, and the hum of life that once powered the station had long since died. "It looks like we're too late," Ethan muttered, looking around the room. Rachel scanned the area. "We don't have time. We need to get this running." She moved quickly to the power station, rummaging through the equipment until she found a battery pack. "I'll get this hooked up. You cover the door." Ethan nodded, keeping his eyes fixed on the entrance, his weapon ready. The sound of distant footsteps made Rachel's stomach tighten. Something was coming, but she couldn't see it through the fog. She worked as quickly as she could, hooking up the power and flipping the switches. The station hummed to life, the static filling the room. "Signals live," Ethan said, his voice strained but hopeful. A voice crackled through the radio, faint but clear. "Anyone out there? Can anyone hear us?" Ethan grabbed the mic. "This is Carter from Dernis Hollow. We've activated the tower. If you're listening, head east. Get out of the fog, now. We're running out of time." But before he could say more, a loud crash interrupted him. The window beside them shattered, and a figure lunged toward them. Rachel reacted instantly, throwing herself toward Ethan and pushing him out of the way. The creature sailed past them and collided with the live power grid. Sparks flew, and the creature vanished in a burst of light. Ethan turned to Rachel, his face grim. "We need to move. Now." Rachel nodded. She grabbed her axe. Together, they turned and ran toward the open door, knowing the fog was still out there, waiting for them. End of part 1.